Hello, today I have with me my favorite brother, my only brother, Brian.
Hi.
And we decided to try something new where we are taking a show, have 12 random characters we pulled out of our ass. We're going to roll a d12 and each of us are going to randomly be assigned a character. We're going to argue as best girl.
You have to explain what a D12 is. I don't want to do it because I don't want to mansplain, but I also feel like there's plenty of people who don't play D&D.
I feel like it's a common thing, but if not, it's just a die that has 12 sides. So, Brian,
Yes.
Let's start off. We're going to do Naruto.
So we're going to be debating the best girl from Naruto.
Yes. Brian, why don't you roll yours first?
All
Who's
right.
your best girl?
I'm going to
argue
do it
for?
where hopefully it won't clatter and destroy the mic. What do I got?
You have Kakashi.
Ooh, easy
You
game.
lucky bastard.
Easy day. I don't even have to defend my position because it's just the right one.
Okay, and I get a zombie. Poetic. Really, this is
Yeah.
poetic.
Like, what happens when you pit two best girls against each other in the first arc of the show, really? You want to start or you want me to run with it?
You start, because I don't know how early, when is too early to defend murder?
Now, I know we're going to be talking about Avatar later, so I won't delve too much into this concept, because really Zuko's the king. But what makes a best girl? Someone who's born good, or someone who has to overcome?
Oh.
I mean, not evil, but you know.
Because I can steal this for zombies. Okay,
Oh,
you go. You go.
could.
No. I'm taking notes. Go ahead.
Take notes. Yeah. He just like, I'll finish my like 10-minute long explanation. He'll be like, back at you. No. I mean, I guess spoilers. Should we put that tag in
Oh
right
yeah,
now?
there will be spoilers for Naruto, Teen Titans, Avatar, The Owl House, and She-Ra.
But now that my bases are covered, when we get to see later in Shippuden the flashback to Kakashi's childhood, and you're shocked to learn that instead of this like wholesome, somewhat violent, but like, you know, very much like community and team-minded sensei, was instead this kind of little rat bastard who who sucked, and was all like, I'm much close to my heart because of the suffering I went through. But to me, that's like a much more convincing and even relatable. Hey, sure, you love him from the start. He's a great guy. He grows, but like from the beginning, he's got good morals. He's got like this kind of good standing, and like, you know, Kakashi to me is best girl because he has all these traits we know and love. But at the same time, we get to see why. We get to see the suffering for me.
Oh my god, you're almost Kakashi age.
Like Kakashi was like in charge of children, and
10 toothpicks that you were trying to get a single kernel. So
he's in every.
if we're arguing here, Brian, about having characters use redemption as a means of obtaining the title for best girl, then what's better than choosing to use them as their own personal weapon every once in a blue moon as a treat?
Oh, I know I have.
It's allowed, but he said he wished he could go to the same place as him.
You should see the gears turning in her head right now. You could see her try to weave some sort of rhetoric out of this, and it's just not working. Yeah, I'm gonna shut you down. Hey, Mrs. There's a big difference between redemption and atonement. That's right.
Don't use my.
All right, come on, at least put up a fight. You didn't mention the cow print camo.
Are we going shallow with it? You got
on.
Robin.
Oh no,
Brian doesn't like Robin. You don't love Robin as much as you love the others.
That's true, but I don't think it's fair to say I don't like him.
No, it's not. I got 7.
There
I
you go.
got Slade.
Slade. I went first about Kakashi, so it's your turn.
I keep getting the villains. Okay, no. I can actually... First of all, Ron Perlman. Boom.
Yeah, I mean,
point
come
to
on.
Shannon.
For sure.
2. I think... was Slade really a bad guy, though? Or was he just someone trying to give children opportunities to harness in on their true powers? Because if you think about it, he's a generous man. He's a generous man into having, like,
They're
little
kind of
minions.
fucked up.
They're a
right?
little fucked
They're
up.
a little fucked up.
I think he cares. I'm actually going to go this whole route. This is going to be where I'm basing my whole argument off of. He really cares about children. Because normally his name is Deathstroke, and his, like, personal name is Slade. He decided to go by Slade because he didn't want to scare the children with the name Deathstroke. What a considerate man for the youth. He gave opportunities for employment to the Hive. Slade is just so nice to children. And, oh, another one, with Raven, he was good because he's trying to use you as a portal to, you know, take over the world. However, why don't I try to, like, help you with that relationship? Why don't I try to bring you together? And did he a father-daughter relationship? I think Slade really has children's best interests at heart.
Yeah.
All right, do anything for Robin, the hero of the story.
It's not, again, that I don't like Robin. It's just that I think that compared to some of the other people in the show, he's kind of an edgelord sometimes, which I know is fine. The problem is, like, I like it when it's really over the top. Like, when Sasuke gives, like, a 5-minute speech about how he's evil as, like, an 8-year-old, it's really funny. Robin's all like, I can't talk to my friends about my problems sometimes. And it's like, get over it. He has good stuff. Like how he's, like, the rock for the team. You know, when we talk about Best Girl, you've said this in the past, it's not your favorite character. It's the character who's kind of sits at the center. If you were to draw, like, a net diagram, right? If you were to take the percentage, like, the percentages will go up.
Are you talking about the K-pop one?
Yeah.
Oh
where, like,
my god.
Where, like, they would... If you're talking about interactions with other members of the Teen Titans, Robin would be like, you know, it's tough to be the leader. But at the same time, he's not just in the leader role. What's 6?
Zuko. Come on!
Come on.
Side. 3. Sokka.
There you
I'll
go.
take it.
I have to go first, though. Right?
Oh, yeah.
All I'm going to say is, oh, no. Because they both kind of redeem themselves a little bit, don't they? Honestly, like, here's the thing, is that if I had to create a real, genuine, non-random, all of them are really well balanced in their own way. Zuko and Sokka are similar, but I will say this. I think that Zuko takes it to a new extreme. Zuko was born the son of a imperialist genocidal maniac. He came from a long line of what are literally mustache-twirling villains, you know, of whom also, like, you know, shot his face off a little bit with fire. And, you know, banished him such that go, yikes. So, like, it's really something you can fold into.
Brian.
Yeah, you're losing the Best Girl fights doesn't mean you have to come at me personally, okay? Toothpick stuck in my mouth still. From all the popcorn turtles. That's really, I think, what I'm going to go with. Lastly, like, you know, Team Avatar is great. But Zuko got his own little adventure / side with each of them after he got folded into the group. And that stands to all...
Would a cartoon with such deep, overarching plot and heavy subject, you really need that balance of serious plot and genuine laugh. This is the show where the real appeal of the characters is their cool bending, but Sokka had to overcome the fact that he was looked down upon at times, and the fact that he had to learn to master the sword, to use his brain to be the strategist, to fight. He's also just the funniest.
I mean, do you remember when Zuko did impressions?
Zuko is funny when you watch him, whereas Sokka tries to be funny and succeeds, which is so much harder in life.
You have a YouTube channel, you know.
A lot of people have said really hurtful things to me, Brian, but my heart has never hurt like it just did a moment ago. If you're a bad brother, whatever. You know who's a good brother? Sokka. Anyway.
Oh no. Oh no.
Sokka has now not only been the funny guy and the strategist, Sokka is also the head of his group. And he has to learn to, like you said, overcome, even though it's not to the extent, of course, that Zuko's is. He has to overcome some things that were ingrained in him from childhood. And that is an admirable thing to overcome. Sokka will rock ya. Can you now roll for TOH, the Owl House?
Das Owl House.
I really hope you get a hard one, because you've been living the good life too long.
What's 9?
You got Golden Guard.
Okay.
You just did Zuko, so just, like, do the same argument.
This is the third time I've gotten a person with the same argument in a row.
Are you getting bored? Do you want to re-roll?
No. You said we can't re-roll. I'll find a way.
I'll let you do it.
No. Go
if you're a coward.
No,
Go ahead. You want to be a coward?
No.
Re-roll the die.
Roll the damn die.
Okay, and I got... Please be Hootie. Gus, as the defender of the 1010s of the world. If no one's gonna love 1010, who will but me? Alright, so... Gus is one of those characters who lives in a world where everyone's in some way, shape, or form chosen or special, which isn't a bad thing. It's just like, you have the only human in the Boiling Isles. You have Willow, who's, like, arguably the most powerful witch in, like, their classmates. You have Amity, who's, like, you know, a bad girl turned good. And you have, like, the Ida, the Owl Lady, King, who's, like, a special demon. And then you have Gus. And I love Gus. And he is, because, like, didn't he, like, skip a couple grades? He is, in some, like, ways, very advanced. However, this kid is obsessed with paper clips and nicknames from the human world. He's just some nerd, and I love him. And I think what we forget when we watch these shows about fantasy is what makes the average person a best girl. We need to have some heart-to-heart here, Brian. Look me in the eye. Brian, look me in the eye. You know, look me in the eye. Do you feel like a best girl? Do you feel represented by media as a best girl, Brian? Don't look at me in the eye. Look at me. Look at me in the eye. Answer the damn question.
Where are the out-of-shape, bearded 27-year-olds?
Gus represents every single person who feels like the world around them is more interesting than they are, but who still manages to find joy and find beauty and find fun in every single day activities. He's there and he's a supportive human. Everyone can rely on him because he's just going to be there and be a good friend. He's reliable. He might not be as flashy as Willow, or as unique as Luz, or as angsty as Amity. I'm running out of adjectives. But by God, is that man reliable and funny and adorable, and I love him.
That's fair. I will say, you know, I think the show's choice to kind of sacrifice him as a central plot point and character and instead switch over to my boy, the Golden Guard, might be a little bit indicative of, you know, importance to the plot, maybe general fanfare and reception. Who's to say? But, you know, when it's so easy, when it's actually even kind of sensible for the plot to just shove a character to the side like that.
Oh, your face is so ugly right now.
Is he really the best girl even? You know, who's to say? Now, I'm not going to rest too much on my laurels, because I think I've made some very good cases for the redemption arcs in the past. What's extra special about this one is the commitment to the tsundere. Oh. Now, you look at me, Shannon, because it goes two ways, and you tell me that you don't love a great tsundere character. Because what you have here is a boy who's not only going through his own redemption arc, but is still just as kind of prickly as before, in like the most endearing way, right? You have someone who's stuck kind of right in the middle of that morally gray zone, but even when he's doing the good deeds, the acts of self-sacrifice, and help and aid to others, he's doing it with like a sigh and an eye roll that you just gotta love. You know, Gus is all right if you like vanilla ice cream.
Don't take the back.
Peanut butter and jelly on wheat bread.
Don't. Roll for Shira.
Here we go. One.
Adora.
Yes, I got your best girl. What are you gonna do about it?
I mean, I got Gus.
It's because I'm a DM at by nature.
You are a DM by nature.
The universe favors my roles.
8. Double Trouble.
Oh, wait, though.
This is kind of fun.
You know, Adora starts off, like, on the wrong side. And it's funny because, unlike the other characters, she's not really committed to it. Like, we kind of from the start see that there's a lot of deception. And I don't want to overuse the phrase because it's kind of like, you know, too often thrown around in non-accurate ways. But for sure, there's some sort of deception going on and gaslighting kind of in that horde setting. So I don't think from the beginning you get that same kind of, like, sharp evilness that you got from, like, Golden Guard or even Zuko to an extent. Adora is, like, clearly a person who wants to do good and has just been kind of trapped in not doing so, right? Is like a dichotomy that works so well and has been done very well in a lot of characters, but I don't think ever so perfectly as with Adora, who is like a great vessel for the main character, like plot lines of like, you know, questioning your own abilities, you know, maybe being overly self-sacrificing in lieu of your friends, but at the same time, always as goofy as the comic reliefs, the Sokkas and the Bows of the world, right? She manages to stand in both realms. She's got one foot in each little pool. And, like, it's just too... I don't know, really. You know, I don't think that I have to make much of an argument, because out of all 5 that I've had to speak about today, I don't know if I've had the argument make itself as much for me as it does with Adora. If you watch the show, you just know that she's best girl.
Adora is my favorite character, so, like, honestly, after you said that, I wanted to clap, but I had to refrain because I want to hold on to some shred of dignity. Yeah. But bravo.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you got who would easily be another person in my top, like, 3 choices.
Oh, here's the thing, Brian. I'm going to make an argument here.
Please.
Double Trouble skirts the line of being an actually good person versus just being someone enjoyable to watch. Because arguably, and I respect this, it's not like they're being evil, they're in it for themselves. They're here to make some bank, you know.
It's all about the dollar bills.
Did they befriend Catra, then immediately, you know, read Catra to filth?
Yeah, therapy session.
I won't lie, that was probably the most powerful scene in She-Ra.
Someone who is definitively binding themselves to the laws of good, and, like, doing so, again, even at the cost of self-sacrifice, versus someone who is almost reliably chaotic with the primary goal of helping themselves, or, like, you know, self-preservation is probably a better way to put it, right? Like, I don't think Double Trouble has, like, malice or anything like that.
A little bit for the drama.
A little bit for the drama, which is fine.
But, like, also, I think their approach to drama was mostly just to help Catra in the long run.
Yeah, definitely like a little bit of like a big mirror held up in front of Catra that was needed.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was that.
That was that.
I'm so ashamed today, but I'm still sexy, so I guess that's all that matters.